Alrighty, well, we're back at work today, and I got this cheap Gypo life. It's really starting to irritate me. Packing buckets, 5-gallon buckets of diesel to the yarder because we don't want to move the shovel. It's silly. Been off for 2 frickin' days. Why didn't he come up yesterday and fill the shovel? And come back, fill the stroker, and then bring a tank today, move the shovel, fill the yarder. But we did get a new drop line, but I don't have enough coolant or water in my radiator to run my heater. So, we nearly didn't even need to buy the heater. I'll get back with you guys. Again, Gypo logging at its finest. I got a new drop line, and instead of doing it right, now we're fighting it. They'll get it, it'll straighten out, but they've just done it the right way to begin with. Okay, so the last few guys that I've worked for, I just, yep, you're right, do it your way, you're the boss. I ain't doing it anymore. These guys, it's absolutely ridiculous. The way that drop line was coiled up was exactly, I mean, we've gotten lines coiled like that. If you do it right, they come out right. You don't go from the outside, you go from the inside, just like you would a coil, and bring it out. It's ridiculous. So we actually just had a little conversation about it, and I don't think he's very happy with me because I said if you'd have done it like a fucking coil, like we should have, wouldn't have all these loops and wraps and stuff. We will get it out. You got to do it by hand. But if we'd have done it right, taken it from the inside up into the car, then we could have just peeled it right on the car. It would have went on. You take it back. You grab your first turn. You run the drop line to the end, and you put it back on tight, and you spool it on good. Now it's going on, and instead of taking them loops out, they're pulling it up through the car, and it's kinking the drop line. Not that big of a deal, except, creates cat's asses. The line's gonna break there. It just it's just funny because I have noticed that everybody that is a know-it-all better than nobody can do it. I don't understand how this guy has ever made it because he is not anywhere near the logger I am. They're not making it. You know why? Because they don't know it all. You need to explain that the slow, drawed out whistles, most of it is this guy, but some of it is that this talkie tutor system is very, very old. And the Mallory box, actually what makes the whistle, it will not accept fast whistles. You know, so if you try to just, you're going to get, there is a couple of things I can do to help fix that, but it's only going to take, it's only going to accept so fast of whistles or functions. Which, we can tune the horn a little bit. That does help. And then, but like I say, it's such an old system that, it's only going to take whistles so fast. But for the most part, King Sling down here is the reason. But, so I got asked about why I'm not a big cat fan and whatnot. I have not spent much time at all on a cat. It's more just everybody, oh cat. I guess it'd be the same way as I am about that 4,000 Medill. But I am warming up to him. I'm surrounded by him now. Chuck Driver got me the cat hat. Getting a little bit of a Twitter patter in it, so hey, you never know. Next month I could be surrounded completely by cats. So I did run off this morning and forget my cameras and my mounts. That's why you guys are getting all the phone videos. I don't know if you can tell the difference when I'm using the phone or the GoPro or not, but I did get some pretty good story times made up, and they're uploading and whatnot. We'll get them out. The video going back over there to Crowley's and whatnot. I thought that one turned out pretty good. I really wish you guys could have seen that 210 Diamond. Oh my gosh, over there at Van Dam's. What a nice little yarder. And like I was saying about the, you know, the vise and stuff, they actually had the hitch or whatever you want to call it in 3 different spots on the yarder, so which is a pretty good idea. You know, along with that, and then an extra external toolbox, the grease lines. I mean, the machine was in really good shape. Had a cool paint scheme on it. It was orange and gray. It wasn't all scratched up and tore up. Yeah, what a nice little machine. Excuse me. Like I say, I know the guy that owned it, and he's a hobby logger. And what I mean by that is they had a lot of money. The family had a lot of money. So they did not need to log. They would, but they logged the good wood, good units, good pay, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. But they didn't work steady, so, you know, the crew members, they were a good outfit to work for, paid good, whatnot, you know, and obviously they took really good care of their equipment, and it's got, I don't know if they planned it this way or what, but all 3 drums, Skyline, Skidline, Haulback, are completely full, brand new line. And yeah, so I don't know if the lines were wore out and they put new lines on it and sold it, or what the deal is there. But that's kind of nice to start out too. That's 6140. Like I say, that the one that that guy I worked for had, and I didn't get to work under it that much. I wish I would have, but it was a pretty impressive little yarder. I definitely would love to get a chance to work under another one, because they are damn nice little thinning machines, you know. They're fast, very fast, just like the Diamond, but they do have one size bigger Skyline, the 7/8, and quite a bit more power. So they're nice to work under, and they absolutely will. They're like this unit right here. It would do really, really good too. Perfect for you know, clear cut logging. But it's also really good in a thin too. You know, like where you take an 071 and because of the bigger Skyline and whatnot, in a thin, it's just like, oh my God, it's so much work to move it and whatnot. And then you put it in a clear cut, and I still think 071s are, but so you kind of see what I'm getting at here. With the 6140, you can do both fairly easily and productively, but you can also get it in too big of a clear cut and hurt yourself too. And that's where the 61, the TTY 6150 now, primo. Small enough yet to run in a thin, but you do have the inch Skyline, so your lines are getting bigger. But you can do
hey, I'll trade you for a burrito.
Damn good size clear cuts too. So I mean, there is a breakup and whatnot.
What you want? You got a burrito for me?
I want a burrito. I did forget to tell you guys that I ran into an old boy at the OLC this year. It was one of my yarder engineers, and he was there the day I got rolled over by the log. After talking to him, he has built a scale model logging outfit in his backyard. So I'm going to go over and get some video of that. He has somewhat of a logging museum, whatnot. Get an interview about him logging, and then do an interview about the day I got hurt. So that should be pretty cool. And Houston is one heck of a guy. His name's Ron. We called him Houston because we were on that 124 Medill swing yarder, and it had a headset. So Houston, we got issues, you know. Phenomenal yarder engineer. Phenomenal. And just an all-around good logger. And good guy, you know, easy to work with, whatnot, so on. So it should be a really cool interview. Really cool. Plus, you know, he spent most of his time in the old days, the old growth, so on and so forth. So we should get some pretty good stories out of that. Hey, since I didn't bring my cameras and whatnot, and it's a nasty wet day and all that and so forth, so on, I got a good story time for you guys. And it's a little bit longer one, too. The last couple have been pretty short, but, I was talking to Barry about a guy that both of us have worked with, so that's what, because, anyway, so, the company I was working for here in Oregon, the guy was partnership in another logging company. He was actually pretty smart. He was 51% owner, plus he owned all the equipment. So he was actually renting the equipment to this other person and getting 51% of the profits, so on and so forth. Well, a smoking contract come up, and it was a good deal. So the guy that, the other side, this deal would have been, if you do it right, you're going to make a bunch of money and you can buy us out, and so it was 8 million feet of thinning. The only part of it was there was 6 million feet right out here in Veneta, Crow, whatever, Penn Road. There was 2 million feet up in Enumclaw, Washington. And the contract was that the 2 million feet up there had to be done before you could do the 6 million here. But it paid good, and it was good wood and all that. It was 1.5 million feet yarder logging and 0.5 million feet of shovel ground. So the theory was that the shovel ground, they were going to really hammer it out and was going to make a pretty good profit off of that, and that's what was going to set the guy up to, buy the other guy out and whatnot. So the guy I was working for, I was actually just setting chokers. I just went to work for him, but, I was an experienced hook tender, and he knew that I wasn't going to hang out and set chokers very long. So he offered me the position so that I would get back into my job, and it paid better because it was up there and all that. Plus, he knew that, he could trust me and so on and so forth. So I took it, and we went up there, and oh my God, the whole thing was a train wreck. If we had a rigging crew and cutters, we didn't have log trucks. As soon as we get trucks to haul them, the cutters would quit, or the rigging crew would quit, or the yard, we were there for 11 months, and it was terrible. Well, the guy didn't end up hiring a shovel logging crew. He wanted to double down on the profits, so he was going to shovel log during the day and catalog, and then after the yarders shut down, the shovel operator and I were going to go over there and work. When they told him, I said, I go up here, I'm working hours. I'm not working 8 hours a day. This isn't, that ain't going to work. I'll stay right here and set chokers and make more money. They weren't paying per diem or anything like that. It was just they paid for the motel. So as it worked out, the yarder was only getting 36 hours a week. Because it's a 5.5 hour drive, so we were leaving early on Friday. But I was getting 60, 70 plus hours, because we'd work 8 hours on the yarder, and then I'd go over and work just as absolute long as I could on the yeah, go ahead. So anyways, those guys, and I was surprised that they actually stuck out for only 36 hours a week. And I was banking cash good. Well, we had it was everything log trucks could do to get 2 loads a day. And, the backstory of this guy that we worked with, he come up there to run yarder, and there was something right off the bat. He got there late the first night, and loudmouth woke everybody up. Get up the next, he snored, and he was a bully. Well, he gets his lunch pail and goes out to the crumbing, and everybody else is getting their stuff together, and he's eating a half of a muskmelon. He throws the rind out in the driveway, and I'm like, what the? So I took the rind and put it in his lunch pail, and we got to the job, and he flipped. And I go, listen, dude, that's where we live. You ain't throwing that stuff out in the driveway. Well, I was going to pick it up when we got back, and I go, the garbage can's sitting right beside the crumbing. So me and him immediately didn't hit it off. And then, like I say, he was a bully, and he thought he was a know-it-all, so we clunked heads pretty good. Well, like I say, he worked there like, it was no more than 8-10 days when two of the guys that were on the crew had their dogs, and the dogs twice pissed all over this guy's bed, his clothes, and everything. We figured it out is because he was shooting methamphetamines, and the dogs were trying to tell us. So he went down the road. Anyway, so it was every bit of everything the log trucks could do to get 2 trips a day. And this one truck comes up in there, and he's almost loaded, and he's like, crap, I forgot to get fuel. Got hung up at the mill or whatever, you know, no big, but I don't have enough fuel to get down off the mountain. No big deal, dude. We'll just give you enough out of the crummy to get you down off the hill, you know, and we got to have him go to the mill anyways and whatnot and so forth. All right, cool, you know, I'll bring you guys a 6-pack. I was like, don't worry about it, you know, this logging crap happens. Well, we had the yarder, the shovel, and the carriage, and then we had a shovel, a skidder, and a cat, and we had 2 100-gallon fuel tanks. So, I mean, it was hard to keep up on fuel. And so like about a week later or so, right in the middle of the day, I had to fuel the yarder because it was about out. Anyway, so this truck driver, he got held up so that I could fuel the yarder and the shovel. Well, he just immediately starts being a horrible asshole on the CB about it. Just on and on and on and on. Finally, I'd had enough, so I get on the CB and I ask the shovel operator, I go, isn't that truck we had to give fuel to last week? And the shovel operator's like, it is. And I'm like, yeah, it's funny how things like that. It was all right for him, but not all right for us. So anyways, we get the fuel in the yarder and whatnot. Truck backs in there. And they start loading him. This guy just won't stop. He's just being, oh my gosh. Well, he's actually bagging on the owner. Bad. Really bad. How bad he was and so on and so forth. And the guy was the owner. I think he was like bipolar or something, because he would just flip for no reason, freak out, people would quit and so on. Well, so finally I get on the radio and I'm like, listen dude, it's probably a good thing that he's not here and can hear you, because he's not the type that takes that. Well, it just happened to be that he was there, and he was coming up the hill, and he'd been listening to the guy. And so the truck gets loaded and starts to take off. Well, the boss just pulls right, just jumps out. Well, the truck driver immediately locks his door. So this guy flips, and he's sitting there, he's headbutting the window of the truck door to get in. And, you know, he's screaming at him, get out, I'll beat you and whatnot. And I'm like, oh God, this is great. Truck driver reaches down under his seat and pulls out a pistol. And that's when things really got bad. So the boss runs down to his pickup, gets under his seat, pulls out a pistol, and so about that time, because we were logging state ground, Forest Service officer shows up. And now he's like, ugh. So the pistols get put away, log truck takes off, boss is just blah. And so the Forest Service officer, he calls the mill representative, because they are actually, you know, the contract holders. And so, well, apparently, I don't know what happened, what was said or whatnot, but so my boss gets a phone call from the mill representative, and he calls him back and leaves him a voicemail. You know, and oh, now I see what kind of a guy you are, you know, you're backstabber, this, that, the other, and you'll get yours. Well, they took that as a threat of violence. And since he'd already had the pistol, I see that Forest Service guy didn't see the pistol the truck driver had. He just seen my boss's. So we're working along there like 2 days later, and 3 Forest Service officers and 5 county sheriffs and the mill representative pull up on the landing. We want to talk to your boss now. Stop logging, shut everything off. We want to talk to your boss. So we get a hold of him, he comes up to him. They hand him a 7-day get the hell off of our property notice. Get your stuff and get it the hell off. After 7 days, if it's still here, it's ours. So he's like, well, we got a bunch of timber still on the ground and this, that, and the other. And they're like, we'll scale what's left on the ground. So we go home, rig and crew packs up, gets ready to take off. Well, he'd asked me if I would come back and help him finish. And this like on a Thursday. So I call the wife up and I go, listen, I can come home this weekend and then come back up and spend most of the next week up here. Or I stay, we death march this thing, and I could be home by Sunday, Monday, be home for a few days. So I did. The lesson in today's story time is be careful out there, people. It's rough. And to continue with that, a few years later, the guy that was the dopey, I worked with again at another company. And I told this story time. He is the one that was running yarder that pulled the tower over. My battery's going dead. We'll do that later. So yeah, this right here is the haywire friction. And you can do up, down, side, side. It's designed so that you can use your knee. Sorry, my stupid piece of crap outdated phone. Anyways, that friction I was showing you is for the haywire. And like I say, you can push up, down, side to side, and as soon as your leg or whatever you take off it goes right back to the neutral position. It's designed so that you can use it with your knee. Because I guess you can take like the haywire and tie off at like a quarter fashion. That way if you have to swing the turns to land them, you can use the haywire to pull the yarder over there. And that yarder also was designed to run the mechanical slack pulling carriages like the Danabo drum lock we've talked about, the MSP, like that. You would have to run that haywire drum as a tag drum then. So that's why it's set up that way. You still have your hands on your throttle and your whatever other frictions, and your feet can still be on the brakes, but your knee can hit that. So that's pretty cool. Kind of.